and incredible students! Deixa-me explicar um pouquinho mais sobre o nosso mês do inglês na indústria. Isto quer dizer que, ao longo deste mês, nós vamos ter uma série de aulas 100% gratuitas para vocês. E que tipo de aulas é que nós vamos ter? Nós vamos ter aulas dentro de indústrias. Para quê? Para poder mostrar a vocês que o inglês que nós temos aqui na United não é inglês só de sala de aula. É aquele inglês de verdade, aquele que você usa na vida real. Principalmente no vosso trabalho.
Teve uma introdução sua.
Hello, beautiful people and incredible students! Estamos cá hoje para mais uma aula de inglês técnico, hoje dentro da ORDEMILK, com o tema de automação. Então, deixa-vos falar primeiro um bocadinho da ORDEMILK, para quem não conhece, uma empresa especializada em maquinários e automação para indústria. Estou aqui dentro de uma empresa que, faz inveja a muitas empresas internacionais nos Estados Unidos, na Inglaterra, que eu já vi. Muito show está aqui. Me falaram uma empresa com mais de 20 anos de existência e que, pelo que eu vejo aqui, é bom demais estar aqui dentro, tá? Agradeço imenso a todos aqui da ORDEMILK, desde o Ricardo até o Leandro e todos os outros que eu não tive a oportunidade de conversar, mas sei que estiveram envolvidos em poder possibilitar isto tudo aqui para vocês. Então, muito obrigado de coração. Hoje nós vamos aqui de novo fazer uma aula em etapas. Vamos primeiro começar a fazer uma aula muito direcionada para vocês que estão agora a começar a aprender inglês e vamos estar aqui ainda no Google Dada. Depois nós vamos começar a falar um pouquinho mais daqui de um vocabulário um bocadinho mais avançado, com uns tempos diferentes, né? E depois, finalmente, no final da aula, nós já vamos estar a todo vapor a mostrar para vocês como vocês conseguem aprender inglês de uma forma bem prática, bem ativa e sem ter que sair do Brasil, que é um estigma muito grande que hoje as pessoas têm, que é, para aprender inglês de verdade, você tem que ir para o estrangeiro. Não precisa, não é? Só temos que replicar esse mesmo processo que você teria no estrangeiro, aqui dentro do Brasil, tá? Precisa de empenho, sem dúvida. Precisa de consistência, uma coisa que é feita constantemente. Sim, precisa. Mas você pode fazer isso aqui dentro do Brasil, para te preparares muito melhor para todas as oportunidades que vocês, como super pessoas motivadas, estão à procura de ter, tá? Muito sucesso profissional e pessoal. Deixa-vos falar hoje do nosso aluno modelo. Eu hoje queria mostrar assim um bocadinho uma ideia diferente de aluno. Normalmente eu trago alunos e digo em que livro é que eu estou naquele momento. Então já tivemos aqui alunos do livro 1, já tivemos alunos do livro 3. Semana passada tivemos um aluno que estava a começar o livro 4. Mas hoje eu queria trazer um aluno que já fez o curso de 18 meses. É importante para caramba vocês também verem o final, o objetivo, a ambição que nós temos que vocês atinjam dentro dos 18 meses, tá? Porque às vezes é uma coisa assim meio difícil de mensurar, mas quando nós vemos alguém que fez o processo de 18 meses, terminou e agora está aqui a falar connosco, vocês vão poder ver mesmo o nível que consegue atingir dentro do curso de 18 meses, tá? Muito importante para vocês que querem acompanhar muito mais aulas que nós vamos ter até o final do mês, que inclusive eu tenho estado a postar uns teasers, que vão aparecer por aí. Tem que ir lá no link Mês na Indústria, que está aí na descrição da live. Vos cadastrar, que vamos entrar em contato com vocês, para vocês terem acesso a todos os conteúdos que vão estar a vir por aí. Hoje o nosso aluno é o Renato. Também um excelente cidadão de Treze Tilias, estudou na nossa escola de Joaçaba. Na altura, nós tínhamos o nome de Speed Up, agora temos o nome United, mas continua o mesmo método, continua o mesmo processo. Então, vocês hoje vão ter a oportunidade de ver como é mesmo o resultado de dedicação, empenho e muita utilização de linguagem sempre no dia a dia, tá? Então, isso é que é o importante. Já falei um bocadinho aqui da aula, vocês conseguem ver mais ou menos o que é que nós vamos abordar hoje. Não se preocupem, eu tenho aqui uma câmera aqui do lado que é o Renato, tá? Então às vezes eu posso mostrar aqui as coisas para o lado, mas é para eu poder integrar ele aqui dentro da nossa conversa, tá? Vamos começar a nossa aula? Vamos lá? Agora é 100% inglês a partir daqui. Antes ainda nós começarmos a nossa aula, só uma parte. Muitos dos alunos, muitas das pessoas que não conhecem o nosso método 100%, elas nos perguntam por que a aula 100% em inglês desde o princípio. Deixa-vos dizer agora aqui um bocadinho, deixa-vos dar aqui um bocadinho de um trecho da intro class que nós damos antes dos alunos começar o curso. É muito importante toda a pessoa ter essa necessidade de poder se expressar numa segunda língua para poder desenvolver a segunda língua. Pensem o seguinte, vocês já desenvolveram alguma habilidade que vocês não se forçaram a ter? Tipo assim, quer aprender a dirigir, mas não quer nem entrar dentro do carro? Não dá? Então, isto funciona da mesma forma com linguagem. Se vocês querem aprender qualquer língua deste mundo, vocês têm que se colocar dentro de momentos em que só aquela língua é válida para se comunicar. Usando este tipo de abordagem, é garantido que você desenvolve uma segunda língua. Só tem que fazer isto por tempo suficiente para conseguir desenvolver ela. Mais ou menos aqui no Brasil, 18 meses, tá? Na United. Agora, muitos de vocês estão se a perguntar, mas calma aí, mas como é que eu vou fazer uma aula 100% em inglês se eu não falo inglês? Faz 100% sentido essa pergunta. Deixa-vos agora explicar como é que nós conseguimos fazer isso. Quando nós dizemos que você vai falar 100% em inglês, não quer dizer que você vai falar 100% em inglês tudo o que você sabe. Nós vamos começar no Gugu Dadá e te vamos ajudar a evoluir. E dentro daquele momento da aula, o professor está treinado e está preparado para te criar momentos de necessidade de usar o Gugu Dadá que você aprendeu naquela semana. E depois, a partir daí, nós vamos evoluindo, que no final dos 18 meses você se vê a falar exatamente como você quer se expressar. Tá? Às vezes é um engano pensar que você vai falar inglês que nem um americano. É meio complicado dizer isso. Da mesma forma que se você... dou um exemplo de mim. Eu que migrei para o Brasil, já estou aqui definitivamente há 6 para 7 anos e não tenho sotaque brasileiro. Então vocês veem, nem pelo facto de vocês às vezes saírem do Brasil e irem para o estrangeiro, que vocês vão ter aquele sotaque, vocês vão ter sempre o vosso sotaque. Mas, se vocês adquirirem a linguagem verdadeiramente, vocês vão se conseguir expressar completamente, tá? Guardem isso para vocês. Então vamos lá começar a nossa aula agora, depois dessa explicação. Ok, Renato. How are we? Let's start.
Hi, André. What's up?
Cool, that's it. Okay, so, like I said, let's go to the book 1 level. In this lesson, let's create a very simple conversation about objects, okay? So, the game is very simple. I create a question for the name, and I create the question for the motive of that object, okay? Okay, Renato?
Yeah, okay.
Cool, that's it. So, let's start. Very simple. Renato, what is this?
Could you put it down? I can't see.
Yeah, sorry.
Like it's side cutters.
Very good, very good. It's also possible to call it a plier, okay? A cutting plier. It's also a possibility, okay? Then we have 2 different ones. So, what is this?
First one, second.
Yeah.
It's nose plier.
What are these? Very good. What are these? The student correcting the teacher.
So the first one is, we can say, I guess, both are pliers.
Both are pliers, perfect.
The other one we can call, I guess, is nose plier. Nose
Very
pliers.
And this is a universal one. Okay. So, but this one, you have different names in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. You can also call it a tip plier, for obvious reasons. Okay. Or it's also called an electric plier. because it's very common for electricians. Okay? Yeah? Till here, everything okay? Yeah. Okay. So the question, why do we use this and why do we use this, for example?
Oops. First one.
The black one, for
cables
example.
all the time.
But why? Why do we use this?
Because we need this tool for cutting the plastic part, then connect to the shape, to the female one.
That's it. That's it. So we use this to cut. Simple. Okay? And it's very important. To cut. What is the difference of 2 and 4? Do you remember?
Yep. For example, for cutting, I'm saying about an action. Probably that's why I'm using E and D in the final. But the action is the most important thing.
Ah, cool, cool. Let me create a simpler explanation, okay? A bit simpler. Remember that 2, it's an objective. So your objective is to cut a wire, for example. Okay, these are 2 wires. So you use to cut because it's your objective. Now, if you say the universal reason for this, you use for cutting. So you always ask yourself, if you talk about a specific objective, you say to cut, to break, because that's your objective at the moment. But if you talk about the universal reason for something, you have to say for cutting. That's it. That's it. Okay? Now, we have 2 different pliers here.
Perfect.
We have a bigger one and we have a little one. A little thinner. So, do you know the names of them?
No, about it. No, I don't know.
Very good.
So,
So,
I don't know.
this one is very simple. It's a strength plier.
Strength.
That's it. So you put it to the point, you go it back again, and it holds, okay? And you have it here.
Pressure.
This is strength. Yeah. Okay. I remember one time in England, in a tool shop, that I saw a pressure plier, the name pressure plier, but it was a plier from China. So I don't know if it was a bad translation or something. But if you ask for a strength plier, you get what you want. Now, this sometimes it's called a multi-cutting plier, okay? Or a decapping plier. You have 2 names for this. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So let's go to the easier ones now. We got this. So let's say the name, what is this, and why do we use this?
Screwdriver.
But it's a special screwdriver.
The special one is for testing if there is light, maybe. Can I say light?
That's it. Okay, light, no, it's not a really good word. If there is energy, okay, it's better to use energy in this case, because light in English is like the real light, the light from the sun or the light from the lampshade. That's light. Electric energy is just energy. Okay, so you said exactly right. It's a testing screwdriver, okay, or a test screwdriver, sorry. And then you use to test if that particular part is alive or it has energy. The most common vocabulary that electricians use is the word alive. Is the system alive or not? They don't use the word dead, okay? but usually they use the word alive when there is energy in the system, okay? Then we got this.
I guess tape, but it's black. Maybe logical black tape. No.
Black tape. It can be. You would describe it in the perfect way, Renato. Normally, if you go to a tool shop, you call it electrician's tape. In English, it's usually very connected with what's the objective and what's the occupation. Okay, so you might have silver tape. Is that the silver one very strong? Then you have electrician's tape. What it is not possible to use, okay, please never use this, isolation tape, okay? That doesn't exist in English, okay? Isolation tape doesn't exist. Okay? Finally, for tools, we have this two. One you already said, screwdrivers, and then we have the universal name, Phillips tip, okay? We have some safety equipment. Do you remember the name of this?
I'm not sure. We can say not a hat, like hat.
Nah, of course it's not a hat. Okay,
I
a hat
don't
you use
remember.
for a restaurant.
I don't remember.
It's a helmet, okay?
We can say helmet.
Yes. It's the same name.
Motorcycle ones.
That's it. It's the same one that you use for the motorcycle. That's it. Okay. Now let's start getting a bit more technical about electric products. Okay, and then we go to book. Oh no! Final question. Why do we use a helmet?
Stay safe.
Very good. What part of the body do you protect with a helmet?
Probably your head.
That's it. You protect your head. Okay, if you're smart. That's it. Okay. Do you remember what is this?
It's very similar to the Portuguese word multimeter, maybe.
That's it. It's a multimeter. That's it. Now, what is the use of a multimeter?
No, it's very, very difficult to define, but I can say it's for testing different electronic parts. Even if you want to have if you want to make sure that doesn't exist electricity in different parts, you can change instead using the screw. The other one, I forgot. Sorry, the other one we were learning.
That's it. You can test if it's alive or not, the system.
Yeah, this is perfect for this.
Okay. Now, a multimeter, it's really good to diagnose, very important word, to diagnose the current that the system has. So, here it reads the amps or megahertz that the system has at that particular time. And for this, we have a gauge. We have the multimeter gauge. Okay, it's not a button, it's a gauge.
Gauge.
Do you know the difference between a gauge and a button?
One you are supposed to push, right? The other one you are supposed to turn to another position, right?
Simple.
Right and left.
The button, you can also call a button which has just two positions, okay? On and off. A gauge you regulate.
Good.
That's a big difference. See? So anything that has two options, on and off, tall, low, that's usually a button, okay? Or you also push it, okay? A gauge, you explain or you say that there is more than one position, you can regulate something, okay? Perfect. So we got already 15 minutes already of the live. Let's start now with the really cool part of the electric motor, okay? Let's start with the difficult questions. What's the difference between a motor and an engine?
Oops.
Do you know?
I don't know.
No problem, no problem. Let me explain. So, a motor is electric. An engine is combustion. So, all the engines, they run with combustion. Independent if it's alcohol, gas, petrol, oil, I don't know, kerosene, but they combust to create energy. A motor transforms electric energy in mechanical energy. That's a big difference. So, in your kitchen, you probably have a lot of motors, but in your car, you have an engine. That's the big difference. And sometimes people just get it too complicated, but if you think about that, it's really simple. Okay, so let's start with simple vocabulary, okay? This part, okay? This part, it goes from one point to the other point of the motor, okay? Do you know the name of this in English?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
The center.
Oh. Yeah. If this part goes from the electric part and connects to the mechanical part, it's called a shaft.
Shaft.
Okay. And shaft is a very common name in any mechanical part. Okay. Usually a shaft is what connects two different moving parts. So, for example, from your car wheel to your engine, you have a shaft. Okay? No problems?
No,
Now,
I got it.
if this part, for example, doesn't move and just supports the structure, that's an axle. Okay? In this case, it's a shaft, and here we have an axle. Okay, the axle supports the structure, and the shaft turns with the motor. Okay, and this really cool part that moves. You have it in basically in all the machines.
I don't know.
No, it's a bearing.
Bearing.
That's it. Cool? Now, basically is this. Do you know what is inside the bearing? You do know what it is. And don't say balls, please.
Yeah, no. No, I don't remember the name of this. Electronic part is, for me, motors. I don't know in English.
No problem. That's why we have an English class. That's why we're here to
I'm
explain.
learning,
Okay.
enjoying this.
That's it. So we have a bearing, okay? And inside the bearing, you have spheres.
Spheres, yeah.
You thought it was very complex. No, it's just spheres.
No, spheres.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now inside here we have a magnet. Okay, you know about the basic electric. So inside this component here we have a magnet, and I'll show you here. This copper part, it's called coil. Okay? Yeah? Now, but let me ask a few things that I'm sure that you know. The electric motor, what's usually the size? So you don't say normally medium, large, big. how do you talk about the size of electric motors?
It's small.
Yeah?
Small size, like small block, I think.
But do you remember how you, for example, you say, I have a motor. Do you think that people use normally big, small, or medium to describe the motor?
No, we have another word.
Yeah. So the electric motors, they're usually described by horsepower. And this is international. Okay? Horsepower.
Horsepower.
That's it. So this one, I think it is. It is. Sorry, it's covered.
How
But
much
it looks like a
maybe three.
three horsepower motor. Okay, that's basically it. I would say 2.5 to three horsepower motor. See, because normally the quantity of energy that comes in is the same. Okay, you have a two-phase or a three-phase system. That's it. But what they talk about is the energy that goes out, and because it is from electrical to mechanic, then you have the horsepower that makes sense. Cool?
Cool, now get it.
That's it. Perfect. So, before we talk about this really complex thing that I had to study for this lesson, so thank you so much, all the engineers watching this live, okay? You guys made me study for today. We are going to talk about a little about some industrial electrics, okay? And we're going to talk about a little also about automation. Today, we are not really going to focus a lot on industrial electrics because tomorrow we have another lesson in a big specialized company called ABCM in Caçador that we're going to focus on that, okay? So today we're just going to see it, an overall view of it, okay? Normally, for industrial electrics, they tend to use a lot of this. Do you guys know what the name of this is? It's a project of the machine, of the system, but it's called schematics. Okay? Renato? Yeah, schematics. Okay? Here we have a very simple schematic system, okay? So, the really cool thing is that this type of schematics is international, guys. It's completely international. So, please consider that what you know from your university, from your life, it is the same in the United States or England. You just have to express it in different words, but it's the same, okay? So you have your profession, your occupation outside too, okay? So now we have the little circles, okay? And the little circles are these. What is this?
I can't see. What is?
It's the motor.
The motor.
Okay? So it's the international name. It's the international symbol for motors. Okay. Now, this first one, I don't have one here, but I will show you later. Okay. Yeah. This first one, you know the name, Renato. What's the name? The one that if too much electricity goes through it, it just shuts.
Switch breaker.
That's it. A switch breaker. That's it.
It's off when it
Okay. That's
too
it.
much electricity.
That's it. A switch breaker. Okay. Then at home you might have a similar one. Okay. But that's just a fuse. Okay. So if you say, the house fuse went down, it just means that everything got cut off. Okay. Now, in between, we have the on and off mechanism. And for that, okay, here, sorry. And for that, It is just and only a switch. Perfect, just a switch, okay? Different from a little button, okay? A button normally you have in machines for energy and important parts of energy on and off, you have a switch, okay? Perfect. This schematics has a very simple name. If you study in electric engineering course, you know that this is a power schematics. Because it actually shows from where the energy goes into and transforms into mechanical energy, okay? In this case, into horsepowers. Perfect. Now let's go to the cool part. We have here control panel, big old control panel, and this is basically what holds